Hello, Max, or the Technomancer, here doing the Crossroads playtesting, and today I'm going to be setting up the water streams to get salt all the way around all the different machines that currently run off salt, which is a surprisingly large number, in fact. The packed ice machine, which has been chugging along, making packed ice, and the farms, which do run without salt, but much, much slower. Making one potato or carrot per harvest instead of up to like 4 or something, or whatever the count is, I don't remember. Now, between episodes, I did modify my salt and distilled water machine, in that I added a second water centrifuge, that is a water centrifuge, and I hooked it up to the water and so on, so that I would get distilled water faster. In fact, I'm not even extracting the salt, so all the salt being produced by the second one is just wasted because I don't need it right now. I could modify the system to use that if I found I needed more salt, but I don't right now. And the reason I did that is for distilled water, which I need because the packed ice machine, believe it or not, the current limiting factor is the distilled water supply. That's what's making it run so slowly. If it had unlimited distilled water, this thing would be going very quickly. But apparently it's only got 3 stacks. I also switched these out to be ice cables, which is making it have less heat loss, substantially less. Almost 0, but not 0. Water. And so I had to modify the comparator strength in order to adjust for the different calculations. So, water streams. This is going to use a lot of packed ice. Now, I should warn you, I've never actually used water streams to get items around long distance before. I mean, I've used water streams for short distance, short distance sort of thing, but I've never done it where you're going in straight lines, you're not changing your Y level, so you've got to slide along ice and use signs and all that. So if I mess up, apologies, but that is quite possible. So I've come up with a little design I'm going to use, and as usual, it is completely untested. Well, so are all of my devices, in fact. And interestingly enough, it involves hopper minecarts. Now, you might be a little confused by why I need hopper minecarts, but as opposed to normal hoppers, but you'll see. Now, when I said I'm going to be transferring items with waterways instead of minecarts, well, I guess I am sort of using minecarts, just not with rails. So this is where salt is being spit out. I should probably get some water. And normal water would be fine. I don't need to use distilled water or anything, of course. I mean, I suppose I could use distilled water, but there's no need. And I'll set up a little infinite water source over here. I love that change where... Oh, managed to not mess with anything. I love that change where water can now create infinite sources even when it's not at the bottom layer. It used to be very annoying to fill up like a tank. Okay. So let me just come up here. So the first thing I'm going to need to get salt to is this device. And there's a reason I placed this hopper in such a position, which was to make it more convenient for the stuff. And I forgot rails. Okay, you know how I said I wasn't going to be using rails? Well, technically I am using some rails, just not the way you expect. I'm not using rails in the standard, I've got minecarts running along rails carrying items. I'm doing it rather differently. I'm not quite sure if this is saving iron or not compared to just using rails everywhere, but I'm doing it this way. Don't want the... Okay, so I'm going to do this. And I know this looks very strange, but I'll explain why I'm doing this in a moment. If I can manage to not fall off of things. There's a reason I use chicken boots, and that's because fall damage is the greatest enemy I have. Okay. Now, And I'm going to need to do the sides up a bit. So yeah, slippery. Okay, I can't fall off while shifting still. Good. Then I'm going to need to loop it around to there. Let's see. Well, for now, I'll just extend it out a distance, and I'll put the water stream down just to test this, first of all. And then, there. So, at this point, some salt would just spurt up. Oh, crap, I picked it up. Let's wait for that again. The beginning hopper shouldn't cause a problem. Now, so you see how it got to here and then it sort of disappeared? Well, that was because it was going into this thing. It went into the minecart hopper, because hopper minecarts can pick up items through solid blocks. Normal hoppers can only pick up items through things like soul sand. Minecart hoppers through anything solid. And that's why I'm using them. And then this hopper pulls out of that. Now, this hopper is disabled most of the time, but it should still work because there's a buffer being built up in the hopper minecart. I'm hoping that will work. So, carrying items along, and then, so I think what I need to do is it something like this? I don't know. I'm not really, like I said, I'm not very experienced with water streams. I thought this episode would be more of a simple, calm little build water streams and try to connect everything up episode. So what I want to be very careful to do here is I want to make sure that at no point do the items get stuck. Like they can always continue flowing onwards if that inventory is full. So the reason I didn't just put a hopper there instead of using a hopper minecart is I was afraid that the items would land on the hopper and they'd get stuck in that little rim thing there, that weird little shape. And that would not have been ideal. So I wanted them to be able to keep on flowing through. So that should be long enough to test this. Okay, need more water. Chicken boot is the loudest thing I could think of, it seems. Here. So this is supposed to work like this, I think, right? This is the standard way of doing it, I think. I don't know, let's see. If I drop this here. Oh yeah, that works. Good. Oh no, not my salt! Oh. Well, I have more. Now what I need to work out is I need to take this salt over to those two hoppers over there. And I need to work out how to make it so that it's not an insanely huge buffer I have to fill over there. And that's what I need to work out, and that's what I haven't worked out yet. I mean, I just noticed the golem's fallen in the water hole. Okay, that would make him easier to kill, wouldn't it? So, I suppose I could move that machine upwards so that there's fewer hoppers that need to be placed. I don't want to just be dropping items down a shaft, because then if the buffer fills up, there'll just be items getting wasted and despawning. What other options do I have? I suppose I could use some sort of minecart system. I don't really want to do that either. I think either I move that thing up or I just have a really big buffer. And honestly, it's a pretty small, simple machine. I should be able to move it upwards, so that won't be too bad. I mean, I'd have to come up here to access it, but that's not too bad, actually. Oh, you know what? Actually, what I could do... Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, that'll work. Where should I put that? Yeah, over here I should do. Yeah, let me go get that thing and let's see. We need a chest. Isn't it kind of weird how hoppers take an entire chest to craft, and yet their inventory is substantially smaller than that of a chest? Is it just me who finds that weird, or... probably just me, isn't it? Alright, I need to pack up this machine. Watch me not be able to remember how to put it together again. That's almost certainly going to happen, isn't it? You know, the interesting thing is I always break pickaxes with a pickaxe. Pistons with a pickaxe, but they're no faster with a pickaxe than your fist. I almost wonder if the pickaxe almost seems slower. No, it's the same. What about the axe? Axe is the same. But there's no tool for pistons. Just kind of weird. Does it take double durability when you use the pickaxe on it? 27. No, it does not use double durability. Because normally when you break the wrong type of block with a tool, it's double durability. For example, if I break some dirt, it should go from 26 to 24. What? Did they change that? It's always been that it's double durability use. Right? That's very strange. What? When did they change that? Or was it that it was a sword where that was double durability? 116. Oh, it was the sword where it uses double. I guess it's just that you waste durability unnecessarily with the wrong tool. Okay. I'll leave that chest there. Wait, there's a zombie. I just had an idea for a really bad horror movie. You know how horror movies, they always combine, let's say, vampires and some animal? Like, they always pick an animal and then some other, either another animal or some mythical monster, and they make a horror movie about it. Don't really understand why that's interesting to people, but imagine if they made one called Zombies. Zombie bees. I could sadly see them doing that. I don't know who them are exactly. I don't know, just... people say them a lot, and they don't really specify who them is. I don't know. I guess them means the people whose job it is. Let me build this, because it's going to take a while for me to parkour around and be right back. That should do it. Yep, there we go. It's all working now. Salt, some buffers over there just need to fill up so salt gets over here. I also need to remove a large amount of scaffolding. As you can see, I've been making quite a mess. And at one point ran out of cobble, and I was too lazy to get more, so I started using my spruce planks. Eventually I gave in and got more cobble. I want to make not an entire tube, but just a little something to make sure the items don't go everywhere. And one more block like this. So now the items should more or less fall straight down here. You can see where this is going, can't you? There we go. I'm gonna catch them down here because I can. Oh, inventory woes. Mainly because I'm moving a large chest. Do I have any dirt to patch this up? Oh, yes, I do. Okay. Just enough, in fact. But yes, this should work. Now I'll just, oh, and I wanted to move this, didn't I? So it was, once again, receiving automated salt. And how are all the buffers doing? So that's full, of course, and you are not full. Okay. Ah! Oh, forgot chicken boots for a moment there. Okay. And that. Okay, let me just add my salt to the stock. That's the problem. If I throw them directly on, they get caught on the hopper. I can also pick them up. They're currently all going into the brazier. It'll fill up eventually. Is it full yet? Oh, there we go. Come on, let's see the item follow along the path. That's what I want to see. Good, that's working. So let me add my salt now. But, oh. Wow, this thing is eating a lot of salt. Big inventory. Okay, so once that buffer's full, then those two buffers should start filling up, hopefully. And all I did was really move the setup up there and hook it up so it got the salt automatically. But yes, automation achieved. And this is, yes, making more. Okay. I suppose now that I'm seeing that we do have a lot of buffers to fill, I think I might actually hook up the salt from the second water centrifuge into the system. So all I would have to do is use the hopper to connect that in. Which might take two more hoppers than I have. Okay. Also, I think I want to furnace this up. Just to reduce lag. Admittedly, I mean, I already am experiencing a lot of lag in this room. I mean, part of it is, yes, the Crossroads machines, but believe it or not, part of it's the redstone. People don't really understand just how laggy vanilla redstone is. It really is quite bad. It's amazing how laggy just vanilla redstone is. It really is. But yes, I will admit part of it is probably Crossroads. At some point I should probably get a profiling tool of some sort and work out how much is redstone and how much is Crossroads and how much is any one machine. But I don't think too much of it is the logic for the Crossroads machines, because when I'm outside of the room looking away, so the machines are still loaded, they're still doing their thing, but they're not being rendered, that is significantly less laggy. So, honestly, it's probably the gears. Maybe it's the pumps or the steam turbines, I'm not sure. I'll have to track it down and work out what exactly is causing it. Okay, so I want to place some of this so that if you put a furnace on top of a hopper, it will prevent the hopper from trying to pick up items. And that actually does reduce lag, because it trying to pull out of a furnace is less laggy than it trying to pick up items. Believe it or not. Useful tips. I think this one too should Actually, this might stop the hoppers from running now that I think about it. Oh, yeah, because the redstone's powering them off. So, for a couple of these, I am going to need... All of my furnaces are going upstairs, I think. Some of these, but the ones with redstone on top, I'm just going to use normal slabs so that they don't get powered, but I don't want them to be. Got the slab here. So I guess adding one furnace should help a little bit. Okay. But yeah, extra salt now. And now I need to go upstairs and collect any items that fell through the hoppers. Where would they end up? Probably in the potato and carrot machine, but that's probably where the items will have ended up. I like how it connects to it. It doesn't quite connect. Oh, that's kind of what's that. So now we're making 2 salt per batch instead of 1. Ah, so salt is actually making it here now. So just need to pop down and get the offending items out. Ah, here we are. Yes, that would do it. Don't drop the fingers here. What were you, raised in a barn, Piston? I mean, you were raised down in my machine room, which is honestly about as organized as a barn. Maybe less so. To be fair, probably less so. There are probably some very nicely organized barns. What am I even talking about? I do not know. Wait, the villagers managed to trample one of the soils in there. I mean, if I used fertile soil in there, I wouldn't have to worry about them trampling. But I'm not entirely sure if they'd be able to harvest off of fertile soil. I should actually test that. Yeah, we'll finish off the episode with me testing if villagers can harvest off of fertile soil. That's an interesting question. I do have some left over. Somewhere. Let's try potato. And I'm going to want a little bone meal for the experiment. So if you could just, thank you. Sand supplies is filling up. Which villager is going to be my friendly cohort? This experiment probably will work better during the day. Villagers' AI changes depending on the day or night. At night, they all cram into one corner trying to get into this house. For some reason, this one is preferred to them. Which is why, yeah. So, which of you fellows is going to see if they can harvest that? So if I plant some potato fertile soil in here, are they going to do anything with it? What is he looking at? He's about to yell, "Made you look," isn't he? Look, they're all looking at me like I'm an idiot. I don't actually remember what the exact rules are to get village. Okay, so they just plant randomly on... Okay, so it looks like they're not interested in planting on fertile soil. Are they interested in harvesting them? Let's wait and find out. This, by the way, is how I'm getting in and out of this enclosure. Is the door? The fact that you can do this with doors. If you open a door and then stand in it, and then jump and then close it while you're at the peak, you can are in the standing on the lower half, and you just jump up. So this lets me get in and out without zombies being able to get in and out, or the villagers. Yeah, they don't seem to be interested in harvesting that. Well, if I grow this, for example, let me just watch. They don't seem to be interested in harvesting that either. Oh, there we go. See, they're sometimes a bit slow. See, they're still not interested in the fertile soil. So interestingly enough, somewhere in their code there must be checking that not only is the crop fully grown, but that it's growing on tilled earth. That's very odd. That's a bit of a weird thing to check for. Can I have my... Sorry about that interruption. I'm back now. Obviously I'm back. No, I'm an imposter. I'm not back. This is a automated message. Also, it seems that... So apparently they don't like fertile soil. I can think of... Yeah, I don't think there's any way I can change that without doing some things you really do not want to do. Or anyone. I would have to modify base Minecraft vanilla code, base Minecraft code, which is, for good reason, generally frowned upon. For very good reason. So that's not something really particularly fixable. I was just wondering if it would. So I'll stay in, I guess. I mean, it's really a minor thing, I guess, but... So now I know no point giving them fertile soil. Not that I would, the stuff's too expensive for that. Also, the villagers seem to have reached their breeding limit. And that they've stopped breeding. I think they'd need more doors, or for me to set up an infinite villager breeder for them to keep breeding. I do not want to do an infinite villager breeder though, because... What? Okay, one point at a time. I do not want to finish to set up an infinite villager breeder because, like I've said, I don't want to log in and find a million villagers. Now for this. Okay, I did not know that you could till grass path. I mean, I know this is still technically a grass block, right? But still, that's weird. And it's because I'm so used to like the height of the block dropping when you till it. But because it's already lowered, it just changes the texture, which I find extra weird. Can I directly turn this back now? Okay, so I need to... Oi. Well, when that turns back into grass, I'm gonna have to... take off these boots to make it hard to trample this. When that grows back to grass, I'll have to fix that. Okay. I did not know you could till grass paths. I guess it sort of makes sense. Okay, it doesn't really. Wait, I don't need to plant. They'll plant themselves, but whatever. So, it's one potato. In case you haven't noticed, I've got a machine for those now that runs off salt. I mean, everyone knows that when you salt the earth, you get more things grow, right? That's how it works, right? There we go. I don't know if that's enough to actually boost up the breeding by 1 or not, but we'll see. I've got 1 door spare. Is there anywhere I can stick this? Anywhere useful I can stick this, I mean? Yeah, these people still doing the same stuff. Knock back. Yeah, I've got enough emeralds for now. Well, I guess I'll end the episode there. Goodbye.